Good morning. This is Merlina McCullough, and we are having our Zoom number 106. And this is August 23rd, 2025. And let me see if I could get everybody in here.
Hello, Doc
Paulina,
Marley.
I see Marco. Marco, it's nice to see you.
Hello. Me too also, Doc Marlina.
Yeah. Well, um, I don't see Mike. I wonder if Mike forgot. Um, let me, I'm gonna have to send this invitation to folks. Marco, what you doing? Are you having a good school year so far?
Yeah, so far it's good. And by the way, Doc Marlina, I have a good news.
What is it?
I've been hired with that school I told you last time. That's the Calb County District, I think.
Good.
Yes, and I think the principal, Miss Donna,
Uh-huh.
emailed you for a
Uh-huh.
survey, I think.
Okay.
Were you able
Donna.
to answer that, Doc Marlina?
Okay. I will make sure that I will fill it out. Yeah, I always fill it out anyway. So yeah, good job.
And thank you so much. And also, Doc Marlina, they gave me an account, something like Frontline Education,
Uh-huh.
that already a employee or hired officially.
No, no, that's what schools here in America would use to do their hiring. So
Yeah,
the officially one would be the HR or the human resources, so to send you job offer. When
yeah,
you
and
put a job offer,
also they
huh?
sent me a job offer, and I already signed
Okay.
with the job
Then
offer.
that's really an official one is for schools to already hire you through the school board. See, that's kind of
Wow.
what they do here is you will go to their website and they would have a school board meeting agenda there. So you go to their board agenda and then you could see if one of the minutes is that minutes item is that they hired you and they put your name.
Ooh.
Yeah, because
In the
it's
Board
public
of
information.
Education.
Board of Education, yeah.
Okay.
So they will publish that in their website. So
Ah,
that's
nice.
official. That's official. When they have hired somebody, they will put it on that board minutes, so agenda, and that will be one of the things they discuss is that we hired this person, and it'll have your name on it. So that would be, yeah, that's official then. Because even if sometime the principal would hire you or even superintendent, then it's not official until the Board of Education. Whereas the Board of Education is usually about 5 people in the school that had been elected by the people. So they represent the people. They're the ones that really make it official.
Oh,
That's a good
Doc
question.
Marlena, should I ask question to the HR if my name already listed on that Board of Education,
Now
or
you don't have to ask because it will be listed, it will be posted on their website. Yeah, just
where
go on
can I
their
find that?
website. Huh?
Where can I find that website?
Well, you can Google it, Google their name, the school district, and then every website, is it a public school or private school?
It's a public school. They called high school.
Okay.
The district.
Yeah. Just Google that and then put the state with it and Arkansas, for example, if it's Little Rock, which is the capital. So I put Little Rock, Arkansas School District, you know.
Oh, thank you so
And
much.
it would show you the website and then you just go to the link and then go go under their board minutes agenda. There's a monthly board meeting. Every month
Wait.
they meet. So if they would have, like, for example, if they hired in August, you will look for the August board agenda. Good question.
Oh.
Yeah.
Also,
So,
Doc Marlena, they are actually processing with my H1B petition,
oh,
and
nice. Okay.
I was thinking, how is the process step by step? Do I need to wait after 15 days? Kasi they said that it is premium, H1B premium.
Okay. Well, H1B, that means that they have paid the premium means that they are paying for that 20 2,500 extra money in order for them to know the result within 2 weeks, within 10
Yes.
days, I think. So, yeah. So they're paying extra, and that's a good thing. That means they have got money. But H1B
Yes.
is awesome because that means that
Yes.
that's a path for citizenship, path for a green card, and that you will be here. Compared to the J1 is 5 years, and that one is 6 years. But before the 6 years, you will apply for a green card. And once you have your green card, then after 5 years, you will have your citizenship. So you can become a citizen
That's
of the US.
awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
So
awesome.
H1B,
The further.
H1B, yeah, H1B is really hard to get because most schools
Mhm.
really do not want to mess with it because it's a lot of paperwork. So, but how you know that they're processing your papers, they're going to be asking you a lot of papers. They're going to be
Yes.
asking you like, yeah, your FCE, your
Yes.
passport, your all kinds of paperwork.
Actually, the attorney from that district
Uh-huh.
contacted me through email, and
Uh-huh.
then the attorney gave me an
Yes.
account to log
Okay.
in, wherein I will upload those documents on that website. That's House Law, I think, account or website. Then there's a lot of documents that I need to upload, and I'm done with it. So I'm
Okay.
waiting with the
Sound like
response
official
of
already then, because you got your job offer already signed, and then you have already been doing the paperwork with the attorney. It sounds pretty official, Marco.
nice. Thank you
It
so
sounds
much.
like that, but you will really you will really know that you are coming if after your you have interview scheduled in the embassy, and then
Yes,
you will
that's
get
yes.
approved, and then you'll be here. Yeah, that's when you know
Yes.
it's really sure.
That's why I'm waiting for that, Merlina.
Yeah,
And the principal actually emailed me if when or can I give that timeline to for me to arrive from that school. So I answered to that principal na I cannot give the exact timeline because of that petition. Once
yeah,
it is done already, I can already once I file a interview or visa interview, I can already give a exact
right.
timeline when I will
Right, right.
arrive.
That's right.
So
See,
that's
but
how I answer.
so the answer, yeah, the good answer. That's a good answer. But you say you can just say as soon as I'm approved. That's the answer
Yes.
to that. As soon as my
Yes.
visa
I
gets
understood.
approved by the embassy, by the U.S. Embassy in Manila, then I can come. I can come as soon as
Yes.
approval is. I could buy my ticket that even the next day after approval. Okay,
Nice.
but they have to buy
Also,
your ticket anyway. They will pay for
also,
everything.
Dr. Lina, regarding with the interview, I think there's a new announcement from the U.S. Embassy in the Philippines. This coming September 5, 2025, there will be interview wave. Have you heard about that? Interview wave. I think there will be no interview. Is that correct? Correct me if I'm wrong.
No.
There will be no interview. Let me read again. Where
Instead
is
of
it?
an interview, what will they do?
But it is for H1B and J1. There will be no, I think, interview for. Let me read again. I
I know,
forgot
but
where
what
is.
does that mean though? Does that mean that no more interview or is not required anymore?
Yeah, there is what I think interview wave.
Oh, there's a waiting?
Yeah, here effective September. Wait, here applicants reviewing. Where is it? Oh. Effective September 2, 2025, the U.S. Department of State will update the categories of visa applicants that may be eligible for a non-immigrant visa interview waiver. All non-immigrant visa applicants, including applicants under age of 14 and over age of 79, will require an in-person interview with a consular officer except applicants renewing B1, B2, B1, B2 visa or border crossing card within 12 months of their prior visa expiration when the prior visa was issued for full validity at the time of issuance and the applicant was at least 18 years old. Applicants for diplomatic or official type visa and applicants classifiable under the visa symbol A1, A2, NATO, TECRO, and certain C3 and G.
That they will waive it, did they say? Well, it
Yes,
sounds like it's not mentioning it's not mentioning
yeah,
J1 and
mentioning
H1B
J1
though.
and yes,
That doesn't
but
affect you.
those,
It doesn't
but
sound
maybe
like, huh?
but maybe it is it initiative, I think.
Yeah. It doesn't
Correct me if
seem
I'm
to
wrong.
affect. I think it's different visas. It doesn't sound like it is
Oh,
J1 or H1B just because they're not mentioned, right?
yes,
They're not
was
mentioned.
not mentioned actually.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
So if it's not mentioned, that doesn't affect you at all. So that's not gonna work for your
Either,
situation. Yeah.
yeah,
So it's gonna be for like for the
for
political,
business,
yeah,
for
businesses
business and
and
tourism.
tourists and all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah,
So it's not gonna affect the H1B or the
actually,
J1. It doesn't sound like
J1.
it. Yeah.
Okay.
So anyway, that's good. Where did you get that? Where'd you get that info?
I get here in the US Embassy in the Philippines Facebook page
Oh, okay.
official.
Oh, yeah.
Mm,
So you have
that's okay.
signed up for their notification. Is that what you did? Yeah.
Um, in Facebook only.
Oh, okay. But you can go in and actually be signed up for their notification. Anything they have notification, you can be part of their distribution list. I'm one of them. That's why I'm not aware because I've not received anything like that. So because I get it every time they have any new initiatives, I get it, and I always look and see if it affects the J1 or the H1B, and that doesn't sound like it does, right? You did not mention
Yeah.
it. Is that right?
Yes, there's
Yeah.
no mention about J1.
Good.
That's why
Yeah, so that doesn't
I want to
affect you guys.
clarify with
Yeah.
other ideas.
Yeah, that doesn't affect you guys. So,
Nice.
but anyway, but that's nice that you've been paying attention though. So, um, I am
Mm,
trying to okay, so what else are you okay, what other paperwork did they ask you to what other paperwork
yeah.
did they ask you to
So far
um
today, the HR and yeah, the attorney was not able to email me, but the HR actually active or responds with my questions. So according to the HR, I will wait within 15 days. If no, ano to? If no respond or wala bang respond yung attorney sa akin, so I think I need to inform the HR already if what is happening with the petition.
Okay, that sounds good. Yeah, yeah. You have to get
That's
them updated. Whoever's been communicating with you, you need to make sure that they know what's going on because you don't want them to change their mind and say, okay, let's just get
yes.
somebody else because we
Yes,
have not
that's
heard
why.
back from this person. So
Right.
you need to check in with them at least once a week or
Yes.
every other week
I
or
think
whatever.
every two
But
days.
every two,
Every
no,
2 days.
you don't want to be a pest either. You don't want somebody to think that you're like
Yeah.
being a pest. Yeah. If you're always in their email and you have not heard anything new,
Pop
they're
up
gonna think
again.
they're gonna think you're annoying. So you don't want to be a pest like that.
I think
No. At
it's
least once a
already
week,
once a
possibly.
week.
Once a week.
Yes.
Yeah, don't do every 2 days. That's too much.
Like
They
a
would
pet.
say, they would say, oh my goodness, that person again. Yeah, you don't ever want
Yeah.
that. Yeah. Um,
Actually, Doc Marlena, during my interview, first interview with that principal, she was so shocked when those questions I answered smoothly, and of course, and here comes, she said, do you have any question? And
uh-huh.
that's the time that the principal said, do you have any question?
Uh-huh.
And that's the time I asked something like, as what you said, that you need to ask regarding with their school.
Uh-huh.
That's why. So I
Yeah.
researched the school. I see
Good for
the
you.
comparison. I I
Yeah.
I compare the class schedule here in the Philippines and from that school.
Uh-huh.
So they were so shocked when I said I was I was so shocked with the schedule in that DeKalb High School. There
Mhm.
are three lunch time. Here in the
Uh-huh.
Philippines, we only have one
Good
lunch
job. Good
time.
for you. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, then the principal was shocked, and with the heads, I think the supervisor, I think they were so shocked. I asked that question,
Yeah, good for you.
and
Yeah. They're gonna think,
yes,
oh my goodness, this person did
yes.
his homework. Yeah. Good
And
job.
then and that moment I think, oh, they amazed. I see on that video with their reaction, Doc Marlena. And then here comes, we're done with the interview after I think tomorrow, tomorrow, then they gave me an email to have another second interview.
Okay.
That second interview, that will be about 5 days. That would be the range 5 days.
5 days
So after
later.
5 days, yeah,
Okay.
5 days later, they congratulate me. They offer me the job. And
Nice.
so
Okay.
I'm so happy that time.
Good job. Yeah, you
Yes,
sound like
Merlina.
they were impressed with you. I'm so glad
Yeah,
you learned it from here that
thank
you
you.
knew,
Yes.
you knew to always research them. And that is
Yes,
always a
correct,
good tip for
Merlina. I
everyone.
did
Yeah.
that.
You're welcome.
By
So
watching on that
yeah,
video,
what kind of
I learned
questions
it.
were what kind of questions were they asking you?
More on strategy, applying classroom management,
Okay.
um, how to handle parents,
Oh, nice.
um,
Those are things we
and
practice if you watch my video, right?
yes, I answer it smoothly. and also, and also, what's the question is that? Ano daw maiambag ko sa school?
What is it?
So, anong maiaambag ko sa school
How
or
can you help the
what should
school?
I,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah, or
Yeah.
and I answer it in our school in here in the Philippines. I
Uh-huh.
do actually immersion. I do partnering with other stakeholders in the like the immersion. I am the coordinator in immersion. So my grade 12 students, I actually do immerse them in the different company, especially STEM,
Yeah. Good.
youth.
Perfect.
And from that, that's how I can give in your school by collaborating, partnering with other stakeholders. That's how I
Now,
answer with that
good job. That's
question.
a good answer. I would have liked that.
Yes.
I would have hired you. Good job. Was there any
Thank
question
you
that
with the
you,
video.
yeah,
Yeah.
good. You watched my video,
I-
huh? That's cool.
Yes.
Was there anything else that kind of stumped you? Like, oh my gosh, this is a hard question.
I think so far I answer it all, but yeah, I answer it all. I don't know if it is goods for them, but I think in classroom management, that's something that I need to have a routine. That's for I need to enhance my routine or um about classroom management. I think I forgot already what's my answer during that time
Okay.
with regards to the classroom
Yeah,
management.
because that's what they always worry about is that the
Yeah.
international teachers may not have good classroom management. So that's you need to have a smooth answer for that.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So it sounds like you did well. You did very well. That's why they hired you, huh?
Yes.
Good luck. I
Everything is
can't
smooth
wait.
actually
Yeah.
during
What
that interview.
nice. What state will you be in?
That's Illinois.
Illinois. Okay. So that's by
Illinois.
Chicago. Is that part of Chicago school district?
Uh, I think it in
Okay.
DeKalb County.
Okay. It's a
That's
county school. Okay.
District 428, I think.
Okay. I think that sounds like it's a part of Chicago. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
part of, yeah,
Here in
close to
Chicago.
Chicago,
I
possibly.
close to Chicago. Yeah, I saw it in the map.
Yeah, you are. Okay. Well, is it did you notice how much population they have? How
I
big
think
is
that's 1,900
Oh, it's
students.
a small town yeah. So it's a suburb then. So
Yeah,
that's good
one.
because then you don't want to be right in the middle of the city because everything will be so expensive. So if
Yes.
it's still close enough, that means that in the weekend you can still go see Chicago and other places, but you don't have to live in the middle of the city and pay the most expensive rent and all
Yeah.
this good stuff. So I
So
think that's the
expensive
best of
in
both worlds.
Chicago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So so I'm proud of you. That's so
Thank
awesome.
you so much, Doc
Yeah.
Merlina. Thank you so much.
That's so awesome. So anyway, so the next step right now is just to make sure that you are really keeping in touch with everything and making sure that you have everything that they ask you. If you ask you for a paperwork, do it quickly.
Yes.
Do not wait because if
Yes.
you wait, then you might have a deadline or something, and they might have thought that you gave up or whatever. So just keep in touch with whoever it is that's been contacting you. just keep in touch, saying hello, have a good week, or I'm
Yeah.
hoping you're having a great week. I just want to give you an update. So far, I don't have any, I've not heard back, but I'm so excited, looking forward to work with, at your school, things like that. You just have to come up with something new every week or so, but not every 2 days, okay? Do not do it every 2 days. Don't be
Like
annoying.
a pet.
Yeah, you don't want to
Yeah,
be annoying to somebody.
I agree.
Yeah, they might just say, "Well, let's not hire this person. Look at this, this person is have
It's
this
annoying.
stalker. Yeah, have this stalker attitude." Yeah, stalker attitude
Yeah.
would not be good. Yeah. Okay, well, congratulations. That's
Thank you so
so
much, Dr.
cool.
Dina.
That's, I think, maybe 6 or 7 hours, possibly 8 hours for me. So that's kind of far
Wow.
because Chicago, Illinois is like in the Midwest. So if you look at the
Mm.
US map, then, on the bottom, like there's Arkansas, and then above us, there's like Missouri, and after that is Iowa. And then right there, after Iowa, you will see by the Great Lakes area, you will see Illinois, you will see Wisconsin, and
Mm.
Ohio, all those places they call the Midwest. Okay, because we
Midwest.
have the five Great Lakes, and it spells homes. Okay, homes, Homes. It's
Yes.
Huron, Huron, and then O is Ontario, that's by Canada, and then M is Michigan, Lake Michigan, and then E
Michigan.
is Erie, and then S is Superior. So those are called five Great Lakes of the U.S. That means they're really big. And so if
Wow.
you are, yeah, if you're teaching there, then you'll have those five Great Lakes that you could, possibly visit. That,
Yeah.
yeah. So it will be close to you. I don't know how many, I have to look at the map and see how many of those will be close to you, but they would be pretty close. That
Very.
means that, yeah. Homes. So anyway, yeah, that's how I taught my students that what are the
Yeah.
five Great Lakes? It's
Review.
those homes.
Yeah,
So
very.
anyway, so what subject are you teaching, Marco?
Science.
Oh, you're
That's,
doing
I think,
science.
science.
Okay. I'm surprised they didn't ask you how to do an experiment or some demonstration or something.
Yeah.
So they're
There's no
not
question about science.
cool. Oh, are you serious? Well,
Yes.
in America, the expectation is that you're gonna be doing at least once a week. You'll need to have some kind of demonstration or an experiment of some kind once a week. Okay. Some people here, the Filipinos, they're doing a lot more than that. Like they're doing something every day. You can do a virtual, are you familiar with PHET, PHET?
Not
Okay,
so.
you need to check that PHET. Yeah, that's virtual demonstration in science experiments. But if you go to this PHET, I don't remember, but anyway, if you type that down, you will see some experiments, the science experiments that's virtual. So you can do it with your students, and then but it's virtual things. You don't have to have the materials yet, but I don't know how limited their areas are, but it might be worth looking into, just because if you're waiting to come here, you need to be ready. Okay, so
Yes.
for example, what are the science classes that you're going to be teaching? I was a science teacher for like a semester. I did sixth, seventh, and ninth grade. But
Wow.
what's your grade levels?
I
And
think I think the school is DeKalb High School, so expected the grade level are grade 9 to 12.
okay,
I,
9 to
I
12. But the
yeah, I
smaller
was
high school, like your population is small, it's gonna be 7, 12. Okay, so my town is a little bigger than yours. It's gonna that yours sound like a small town.
yeah,
So you could be 7, 12. Okay.
7, 12.
So yeah. So if you look in their website, and you can see how many buildings they have how many schools they have. If they only have an elementary and then high school, that's going to be a K6 and then a 712. Okay. But if they have a middle school, that's when they have something in the middle. Okay.
It's
They could
around
have
grade
like,
5.
yeah. In one of the schools that I did, like a bigger school, that they had like 4,000 students, and
Wow.
they had like a kindergarten
Mm,
building. They have a like first grade to second grade third or second grade building, and then a third to five building, and then a 6 to 7 building. That's called a middle school then. And then their eighth and ninth were considered, yeah. but 8th and 9th are considered junior high, but most places really would do 9, 12. But in this particular school, they did 10, 12 high school. That's very not common. It's more common to do 9, 12 building. But yeah, so every school here in America does their own configuration like that. It depends on the district. Okay, so just remember that they look in the building is if there are only two, it's going to be a K6, 7, 12. That's what the small school where I retired from. I mean, for teaching, um, it was 712. So K6,
7.
712. Yeah. But they only had like 400 something in one school and then another 400 something in another school. So less than 1,000 students. Okay. So if you have a student population like that, they're gonna be set up like a elementary and a high school building. Okay. So that's something that everybody, that's what you need to look at is that how big a school is. Yes. So that's something that's important to know. But anyway, so right now, so what areas will you be teaching? Are you doing like physical science, chemistry? What are you
Yeah,
doing?
physical science, Doc
Okay.
Marlina. And
Okay.
also I reciprocate my license wherein knowing in Illinois we can reciprocate our license. So
Mhm.
I can teach um chemistry, physics, earth and I think earth and space
Okay.
and general science. And also I have principal K to 12
Okay. Oh,
because my
wow.
master.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah, because of my master, I think
Yeah. It's
education
admin.
administration.
Right. Good. But what you can do right now while waiting is you need to be online. And
Yeah,
instead of stalking them, you need to be online and look for open a Google Doc and look at every websites that had experiments and videos and all that of all the different units that you're going to be doing. And then that way, when you come here, you're ready, because that was the problem with some of the science teachers here. They didn't have the resources ready.
yeah,
So right now, while waiting, that's what you need to be doing on your spare time is
yes.
what I usually do is I do a Google Doc and I would title it whatever it is. And then I would just copy and paste the link of every website that I want to, like, for example, if there's a YouTube video that will go with unit, I would put a category on top. Like, for example, if it's physical science, I would put physical science and I would get like a YouTube that is physical science and I would put the link in and then I would label what it is. And that way I can just like look. So after the link, I would put a hyphen and I put a label what it is. Because sometimes the title doesn't say that, of course, it's like a bunch of
Yes,
codes.
yes.
But if you put a title, it's easy for you to see what kind it is. Okay, so you
Also,
do that,
yeah.
and yeah.
Also, Doc Marlina, regarding with the competencies,
Uh-huh.
where can I find those competencies or
Go to their
there is a
good question.
common code?
It will be under the Illinois Department of Education, whatever the state is. So
Hmm,
go to their
okay.
state, Illinois. You put it in quotation, Illinois
Yeah,
Department of Education. Put it on quotation marks, the whole thing, because if you don't put a quotation mark, you'll see Illinois, you'll see department, you'll see all the different words, but you need to say Illinois Department of Education in quotation marks at each end, okay? And then you'll see it. Once you get to the website, then you will go under curriculum. Usually it's under curriculum. And under that is either going to be labeled standards or frameworks. I don't know what
oh,
theirs will be labeled. Yeah. So it will be called standards. And if a lot of times, most of this Department of Education, they will have a search in the very first home page, in their home page, they will have a search place there where you can type anything. So you can just
yeah.
type standards. Okay.
Okay,
Type standards. Yeah.
I will.
Yeah. And of
Nice.
course, most schools in the US are going to be based really on common state standards. So you can go to ccss.org, CCSS,
Okay, CPSS
Common Core
network.
State Standards, ccss.org. And then once you get there,
.org.
yeah, ccss.org. And then once you get there, you're going to go to either literacy, which is English, right? And reading
Yeah,
and all that.
really good.
And then we have math there, but then you
Math
need to go
on.
to the other. I think there's a thing there that says other subjects, whatever, So you go to the third one because
Okay.
those are the three different components there. Yeah. So you need to go to the third one, which covers social studies, science, and the other subject areas. Okay, so a lot of times, if you cannot find the Illinois, a lot of times if you just go look at CCSS, Common Core State Standards, they're gonna be a variation of that. They're gonna be very much close to it. A lot of the states would change it a little or put their own naming instead of matching the naming of the CCSS. They'll put their own naming, like that's what Arkansas did, and they start
Mhm.
naming it Arkansas State Standards instead of Common Core, because
Common
when
course.
Common Core
They
came
use it.
out, it became a bad
Yeah.
name. Some people
They
really
use
hated
their
it. So,
state.
how schools did was they did committees. That's what Arkansas did. We did committees of teachers representing different areas, and then they actually look at the standards and made some changes, whatever, but tweak it a little bit. But once you got to finish, I was part of that. Part of that, I was actually leading this ninth grade level in literacy. And what they did was they look at the literacy standards and they kind of put a little bit of things here and there, little beady things, but
Mhm.
literally it's still the Common Core. They just
Yeah.
call it Arkansas State Standards, but they just like
But they
specify.
modify the competency,
Yeah,
Doc
it will
Marlene.
be similar. That's what, at least in
Mhm.
ours, it's similar. But
Oh,
I don't know how other states did it. I just know that I worked at the department. No, yeah, I worked at Department of Education whenever that happened. So that's why I was asked to lead ninth grade. And so ninth grade
yes.
teachers across the state were there, and they were looking at the ninth grade standards, and they tweaked it, and then we called it Arkansas State Standards. But it still really, really looked like the Common Core State Standards if you look at it.
Yeah, actually common.
Yeah, it's really the common
Almost
standard,
the same.
but they call it Arkansas State Standards, and they changed the naming of it. In fact,
The
they have
name only.
changed it again lately, and so they really started naming it our own Arkansas, standards name. So they're more
Standards.
specific. I think they did a better job, but it's still really the core of it, the meat of it. It's still really Common Core to me, but I could be wrong, but that's what I think. But anyhow, so yeah, that's one thing that you need to be ready for if you are preparing to come to the US. This is really for everyone, not just for Marco, that you need to be looking at the standards of that state. And
Yes.
because that's, and it's always going to be under their Department of Education. Every state has a Department of Education, is always going to be in there. And then you always look for their standards. Okay. So it's, what I do is I usually, actually, Marco, if you email me, I have the standards of I have them in a checklist form. I've actually put it together in Excel. So if you email me,
Yes.
ask me
Mhm.
for the standards in whatever science, and I will send you that, and you can kind of see it's going to be pretty much like that. But
Thank you so
Illinois
much.
might call it differently, but I already have it in a checklist form. So it's like and I have this K-12. So you could actually
Nice.
see all of them. Yeah. So just email me and say, please send me the standards in the checklist form. Okay.
Yes, Doc Marlene, I will
Yeah.
email you
Yeah.
with that competency. Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah, I put this together. I went to all the grades, all the subjects, and I actually put it together in like a little Excel form so that a person can have all the K-12 competencies without having to look it up. So you can just look, okay, for example, and I recommend this. If you're teaching seventh grade, you need to be looking what sixth grade was and what eighth grade will be. And then that way, the one before, the grade before you, and the grade after you. And then that way, you know what the students already should come in knowing. And then you need to also know what they need to know in order for them to be ready for the next school year, right? For the
Yes.
eighth grade. So that's why everybody should have the K-12 one, because you can see about the different things that they are studying where they should have learned that. Like for example, for science, solid, liquid, and gas. They learned that like first grade. You can
Yeah.
look back and say,
See.
okay, and all that. Yeah.
On fifth
So
grade.
like magnetism, and all that. So it could be like the float and all that, even floating and not floating. It's already done in kindergarten, so you can
Yeah.
kind of look back and say, okay, how was this taught at every grade? So no, you knowing this, being from the Philippines, is very important that you need to study the standards. So I guess that's a good idea to. I might just go ahead and put a link on this for the ITSA group. I'll put it a subscriber. You're one of my subscribers, right? So I
Yes,
will,
Doc
and
Marlene.
yeah, I think I'll put this with my subscribers. That'll be a unique exclusive thing for subscribers. So
Yes.
yeah, I think that would
So
be
then
cool.
we can download it.
Yeah, they can download it, and I'll do it for every subject area. So I guess that will encourage people. You need to subscribe.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah,
So that they
it took
can
it took
download
yeah,
the
it took me
competency.
forever to put it together because that's a lot. Because you're
Yeah,
talking K-12 in science, K-12 in English, K-12 in math, and all the subject areas.
and
I
by
did it.
subjects.
Yeah, yeah. And in science alone, you have different areas. You have something for earth science, you have something for
Okay.
physical science,
It's
all that good stuff. Yeah. But anyway, but yeah, it's something that you should study before you come. And then once you
just I need to prepare.
what you need to do then is you can continue, you download the standards I did, and you can just continue that same file. You open another tab, and that's where you could put your link in. And that way
Yes.
you can have your links there in the instrument, so you don't have to deal with different document. You can just open it, continue the
Yeah.
tabs, right? And you can,
Through Google.
yeah, continue
Google
that. So that
Docs.
will Marco's tab and then all your different resources that you're going to use for your
Resources.
demo. Because you have to remember there are 36 weeks in the school year. And
Mm.
so you have to do at least 36 experiments.
Experiments.
Okay. Yeah. So
Every
that's
week.
yeah. The expectation in the standards is that it's weekly. So you need to either do an experiment or like a demonstration. A lot of stuff I struggled when I was a science teacher. I'm not really trained as a science teacher. I was working at a charter school, and charter schools
Mhm.
here in the US, they really do not, that a bunch of teachers do not really, they just have to be licensed, but not really in the area. They're not as strict as the public school. And that particular one, I actually just worked there because I was waiting for my job. I was already hired by the Department of Education, but their human resources took a long time from um, end of October before I got hired. I already was told in the summer that I got hired, but officially to start, I didn't start till October. What do I do from August to October? So that's when
Yeah.
so it's not really a semester, like 9 weeks worth is what I worked in. And so I did
Training.
like the first quarter, first quarter. That's where I was, because I got to meet the parents for the parent teacher conference on they have a parent teacher conference here in October usually, and also one in March. That's usually
March.
what it is. Okay. So anyway, so those are some things question for those that are just coming on. Marco, I'm so proud of Marco, is gonna be
Thank you
hired
so much.
in Illinois. So that's why I'm telling Marco and everybody else that if you are getting ready to come, it's gonna take at least a month or so to get all the things done. So while waiting, you need to go ahead and get your ducks in a row, as what they call it here, things ready. So for science, for example, in Marco's case, he's gonna have to get ready with experiments. There's 36 experiments expected because there's once a week. So you're talking, that's about 180 days is what the expectation of teacher and student interaction. That's what's required in the US. So you're talking 36 weeks what you're going to be teaching, and you're going to be making at least 3 million pesos. Okay. So yeah, you're going to be a millionaire the first year you're here.
As we
So,
convert it.
yeah, if you convert it, it's like more, and especially in yours, it will be a lot more. Maybe close to 4 million for you. So yeah. So that's what you're getting for 36 weeks of work. That's about from August to May, or some of them would open till first week of June, but a lot of times you're done by the end of May. And at least in Arkansas.
Also in the contract, Doc Merlina, it is 12 months.
Oh, you
So
have 12
meaning,
months. Okay.
yeah,
Oh,
even
yes.
in summer, they pay
They pay in the sum. Oh yeah, you always get paid for the whole year, right?
for the
But you
whole year.
only
Yeah,
have to work for 9 weeks, nine
for
months.
9 weeks.
So you
Yeah.
got you get paid in the summer. That's what it is with teachers. Yeah. But different schools would do it differently. Some schools would do it like they pay you every month for 12 months, or they give you a choice. Do you want to do a 9 month pay, which means that you don't get the pay in the summer. They'll pay you they'll divide up. For example, if you're making $60,000, and so if you want to do 12 months, that means you're going to get paid in the summer too, your June July check. Then you're getting around 5,000 less the taxes, and the tax would be around, I don't know, a fourth of that possibly, a fourth of that maybe, or for international teachers, maybe the first 2 years actually on J1 they actually tax free. or something. I don't remember. There's a tax break there somewhere, or they
Or
pay
J1.
it. Yeah, they pay it and then they get it back. I think that's what it is with J1, but you still pay for it. They
But they
still
have,
take it
yeah,
out. But it's like a
but they
saving
have
because they
program
give it
fee.
back. Huh?
They also have program fee for the
Yeah,
agency.
yeah, it
That's
will
the
pay for it. It
disadvantage.
will be around the same, yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, the thing with H1B is, Marco, in your case, the H1B, because it's a path to citizenship, you're gonna be pretty much treated like everybody else, like the local teachers. You know, you're gonna be paying taxes, and then just remember that your paperwork, try to apply with your green card, which the school should sponsor within 3 or 4 years. So you have another padding there of, you have a 6 year limit. So if you need to get your green card by the third year, then you got your green card already. You will already start, once you receive it, then the count starts on your 5 years to be in the US before you could become a citizen. So the sooner, and I think I want to say third year is always a common thing that people do. And I don't know if there is a requirement, the requirement, like certain time that you have to do it. I will try to ask somebody about that. But I just know that some folks would always wait till the third year or sex something. I don't, anyway, I'll find out. But H1B is really hard to find a sponsor for H1B
Yeah.
because schools are always afraid to spend the money, and also be they're so afraid of the legal, things that because essentially they're promising that they are going to be in charge of you for the six
Yeah.
years that you're there. Everything has to be paid by them. The H1B, it doesn't cost the candidates anything. Okay, that they have to pay everything that's visa related have to be paid by the
Yes.
school because
By the
they are
school.
your sponsor. They are your
How
sponsor.
about my, yeah, how about my transportation and home, or where will I stay?
Well, that you need to find out. You go to Zillow.com. Go to Zillow.com, Zillow.com, or you can go and then you type that name of the town, and it will show you the for rent and for sale, but it's going to be so expensive. You don't want to, you can't really buy at first. But H1B can buy properties here. That's the big difference
Wow.
too. H1B, if you save up enough money and to save and rent, and you can buy a small house for you, or you can buy a small house where you can have somebody live with you and share the expenses with you. And but instead of going the rent to the another person, it goes to you, and you'll end
Yeah.
up with that
Yes.
house. Okay, that's something that people can do, especially if you don't live in a big city. In a small
Oh,
town like you're going to be in, the properties might not be as expensive as it is like in Chicago. So it might be affordable.
nice.
It's, yeah, especially if you have another person or two that would say, okay, let's get together and buy
Yeah.
this.
Actually, we are 6 or 5, I think,
Okay,
international teacher from
okay,
different country. So I think
okay.
maybe they will as one
Yeah,
as in a
you
house.
could. Yeah. That well, what happens is when you get here, once you get all your, of course, the first thing that you're going to do, Marco, is you're going to have your social security,
Yes. Yes.
number.
Yes.
So the first thing you do is go to the social security office. You have to do it in person. And then you have to bring all your paperwork, all your documents that you brought in here, just organize that in some kind of binder. Everything that way you can just take the whole thing over there to them, and then all your documents, they'll ask for your visa documents, you see. And then so once you get that, it will take 7 to 10 days for you to get it. Once you get it, then the first thing you're gonna do is take it to the HR, because they're gonna want a copy of your social security so you can get paid.
Yeah.
They need to have that on their file. Okay.
Oh,
And then after that, so HR is the first thing that gets that. And then after that, you need to go and open, no, you go to the DMV, the Department of Motor Vehicle. This is where you get your driver's license. Although you're not getting a driver's license, you're getting an ID. This is called a
yeah.
state issued ID. It looks like a driver's license, but it is a non-driving ID. It's an
Mm,
official state ID. So every bank, like anything that you do, anything, you have to have a state ID, and this is what
state
your
I.
ID that you need. Okay. So number
Yes.
one is Social Security,
Mm-mm.
HR. Number two, number three is state ID from the
State I.
DMV, Department of Motor Vehicle. And then once you get that ID, it's very immediate. You get it the same day. Okay. So when you also need to bring your paperwork there, they're going to want all your paperwork when you go to DMV. So also bring your documents there. So once you get that, number four will be going to the bank. Okay. You go to the bank,
Yeah.
you bring at least $100 because you can open an account. Okay, so once you open an account, then you need to get most, I don't know how your district would be, but most districts in the US would have a direct pay through the bank. So you need to, if they are like that, you need to, after you get your account number and all that, you need to go back to your HR and share with them your bank information, what bank it is
Yeah.
and what your account number. That way they can deposit your checks there directly to your account. Okay. And then make sure that when you go to this bank thing, you need to see if they have online access and make sure that
Yes.
while you're there, have them to help you set up with the online access. So in your phone, then you can actually just access your account on the phone so you can see your balance and all that good stuff. Okay. So
Yeah.
which means that you really need to get your phone before you even go
Also,
after you get your social security too, before you even go to the bank, you need to go ahead and get your phone. You can go to any AT&T or Verizon or any big companies like that, and then even Walmart. You can go to Walmart, which is like Gaisano here. It's a Walmart. You can go to a Walmart and you can either get on the go phone, which means that you don't have to sign up for any monthly fee, but you can just buy the minutes. That's very common in the Philippines, right? So they call them on
yeah.
the go. So
On
so you got, yeah. So no, if you don't want any contract with anyone, which is really more expensive if you do that, I would recommend that you do like either AT&T or Verizon, because those are the two main ones, and you won't have any problems with coverage. You could actually, use it anywhere you are in the US. So yeah, my sister's doing Verizon, I'm doing AT&T. And T-Mobile is another one. But the problem with T-Mobile, at one time when my daughter had it in Wisconsin, she would come to my place and she could not use her phone because of the coverage. But I think they have increased the coverage now. But I just know in my family, we are either Verizon, Verizon, or AT&T. AT&T is common here in my
understand.
part, because they have a deal, like you always ask for a discount for teachers, which means you're gonna have to bring
That's
something
it.
to prove that you're a teacher. Your license would prove it, your um verification um of your employment. So oh yeah, that's one thing that you have to do too. In When you go back to your HR and give them a copy of your social security, you need to make sure that you get a copy from the HR, some kind of paperwork that show that you do work for them. Have
Oh,
somebody to type up that you are working for them. Yeah. And then also you have to bring something about that, a copy of your, like, your bill from the electric bill and the water bill. If you bring that with your name, make sure you have your name on it. Then they will show your address. That's called the your home address. They want to see that this is really you, this is really where you live. So you need those, like when you go to the MV, you need to have a bill from the electric and the water, or
yes.
even the phone or whatever it is. So you can do that. And then so when you go to the bank, then you'll have a phone already. You can set up your online access. And then that way you
Yes.
can, you want to know how much your balance is or whatever, that, yeah, you can do that. And so, yeah, you can also open there, you can open a checking account um, and a savings account. So because when you give it to your HR, you can say, which account do you want it to be put in? Of course, you're going to put in your checking account, and then they're going to say, then of course you're going to ask for your debit card, because a lot of times you get debit card, but some people would also ask for order a check. You can order the check from the bank, and then some, but most of the people here would only use their debit card.
Debit card.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But some
Much
people,
better
like
than.
my husband, who's very old-fashioned, he does not love it. So he would always opt for the written check. So he
Mhm.
must be one of the few people that still use it. Yeah, he doesn't trust anybody. He would not want to go, "Well, I don't even want a debit card. I just want to write a
It's
check."
easy to use the debit card.
Yeah, I do, but not him. But yeah, depending. I think it's a
Yeah.
trust thing. It's like, because you have to remember my husband's older than me, right? And so his generation is like that, doesn't trust the technology as much as we do. So it's okay. I love him to death, but that's what he believe, and we have to respect that. And that's
Yeah.
what, I used to just like make a joke of it. Yeah, right. You just don't trust anybody. But the thing with it is that another thing that you also need to know is once you have those credentials that you needed, you can go to like get you a credit card. The credit card is important because especially that you H1B, because you have to start building your credit. No credit means you don't have any credit at all, means bad credit. Okay, so you need to be established. That means that you have something that later on, if you want a car, they're going to want to see your credit. If your credit is good, which is about 700, 750 and up, it goes to close to 900. But if you have 750 and up credit, that means that your interest rate, if you're going to owe money, is going to be lower. Okay. So you get at least one credit card at discover.com. You go to discover.com, or, there's Bank of America, there's Chase, there's all kinds of things, but discover.com is good. That's really one of those that they would recommend. I would recommend because they have if your card is stolen, you're only responsible up to $50. Even if you charge thousands, you will only be responsible for $50. I don't know, most companies may also do that, but I know Discover does that. You're not responsible, if somebody stole your card or whatever and charge something.
Yeah.
So and they give you like 3%, I think 3%. Anytime that you charge, you get 3% back. So if you charge
Wow.
$100, you get $3 back. So, and that's
Mm.
most banks too, though. Most companies do, but I know Discover does it. And then, so once you have that, anytime that you get the bill, like for example, you apply, you call them up. It's 1-800 Discover. So if you call them, and then they will ask you information about yourself, and they give you, even ask for your social security, and it's okay to share that with, if it's a real, if that's a really, really legitimate thing, you can do that, or you can do it online too.
Mhm.
But anyway, so then they'll give you an immediate, like, yeah, you qualified or you don't qualify. You usually qualify because you're a teacher, and they're going to ask you how much you get paid a year. So, and then they will base your approval on what your pay is. A lot of time they'll start with $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 limit. Okay, so that's how much. But when you get that, that doesn't mean you're going to fill up your card. You need to stay within 30% of, for example, you got $1,000 limit. If you try to only spend up to 300 at a time, and then you pay it off. Do not leave any, if you leave any interest, if you leave any balance, some people go above their means. That means they spend, and they don't pay it. Then you are that your interest is like a loan shark. It's like a 5-6. So you don't want to do
Yes.
that. So it's okay to have credit card. I know credit card in the Philippines has a very negative connotation. This is the
Yeah.
reason why, especially if people would leave a balance. Okay. So don't leave a
Oh.
balance. Pay it off when you get a bill of $300. Pay the whole thing, $300, and pay it on time. Don't even be a late one day. Okay. So
Yeah.
there's always a due date. So try to
Mhm.
pay it way ahead. And if you don't have a late thing, it goes through your record, you see. That's called your credit record. And so once it shows that pattern that, oh, this person always pays on time, then your credit rating would be based on that. So then, yeah. And Credit Karma, if you go to creditkarma.com and you put your information in, and you set tracking what your credit would be. At first, it's going to be bad. It's going to be like uh 300, 400 something first, but then you need to get up to your 750 and above. That's the good one. Okay. So I would,
Mhm.
especially for H1B or even J1, really, they do that. Then you have that. Once you have that, then you could actually like get a car, because they're going to be based on your credit. Once you get 750 and above, then you can actually go and get a car. I would recommend, really, if you can just save up money and buy a used car, it's much
Yeah.
better
That's
deal
my
than
plan
having a brand
actually.
new car. Yeah, because a brand new car, once you leave the parking lot, you already lost $10,000. Okay, and brand new
Wow.
cars here are like, 30,000 above. So 1,150,000 and above.
Wow.
So that's your brand new car. Well, you can go to your Facebook marketplace here, and you can buy a car for like $2,000, $3,000. And so if you
Mm.
save up that money
Yes.
within 2 months or three
Yes.
months, then you just pay it for, just be careful about that though, because some of them would sell you a lemon. They call that a lemon car, which means that it looks good, but it really is not good.
Yeah.
Like, so I would feel better if you would buy it from like either somebody that you know and trust, like another teacher, for
Yes.
example, that took care of it, or go to some place where they actually have mechanics there, that
Yes.
actually look at their cars and so on. So be careful about just individual. Okay, if you're gonna buy from individual, find some mechanic like
Yeah.
your person in
Mm.
school that they call the maintenance department. Your maintenance department guys, you befriend them and then see if they could help you. If they know, you find out who knows about cars, and you take
Cars.
that
Yeah.
person to look at that car before you start paying your money. Okay, because they would actually look at the hood, and they actually would open it and see if it's a good
Check.
car. So, but
Yeah.
if you're
They will
into
check
cars,
if
you might want to learn about that there in the Philippines. That's cheap. Here, when you study anything, it's expensive. Okay. So
correct.
for you to save money, know about cars. And then so when you get here, you know what you're looking for, because some of them
Yes.
would you would pay $2,000 or $3,000 and we come home and then they don't give you money back. If it is just a private individual, they won't give you money back. You're stuck with it. You don't want to lose money that way, okay? So either buy it from individual that you know, another teacher or whatever, or somebody that they know, from church. If you go to church people would always help you. And then, but having a mechanic with you to look at your car would be the best deal that you do, because the mechanic can tell if it is a lemon or not a lemon. Okay. All right. So those are some really important things that everybody, including you, should know, because nobody told us that in the Philippines, right? Nobody told us that, oh, you have to do these steps. Yeah. So I think this video here, the Zoom would be so important for those that are coming here and knowing what you need to know. Like Marco, if you don't know how to drive, you should practice driving now. Well, it's still
I know how to
you
drive
know how
though,
to drive.
Marlene.
Good. Because
Yeah.
if you know how to
Automatic.
drive, yeah. So if you know how to drive, you're gonna go to when you go to DMV and ask them if, I think they would let you drive for the first so many days without the local license yet, if you
Yeah.
already are a
I
driver.
see.
Yeah. They will, I don't know, 30 days or 60, I don't remember what it was, but you just ask them that this is I just got here. I already have a driver's license from the Philippines. Do you
Yes,
have
I have
kind of, yeah, you have some kind of reciprocity or what do I need to
your
do?
license also.
Yeah, what
Driver's
do I need?
license.
Yeah, what do I need to do to get the local license? Yeah. So they'll tell
Yes.
you all that. Yeah. But they're gonna get you paper, but you always need to bring all your documents with you when you go to those places, okay? Yeah. Go
Yes.
to the bank, you go to the MV, you bring your documents with you. Okay. And of course, Social Security. Any other
Thank
question that
you.
you have? I think you feel like you're ready now, huh? Get yourself ready.
Not so not so far.
Get your
I
standards
think
ready, and then you can get
yeah,
all
the
your,
standards
yeah,
I think it's not
yeah,
ready.
yeah. I think that's the biggest thing though. If you get your
I
standards,
need to focus. Yeah.
I would recommend you. I mean, it's not because I'm pushing for it, but you might want to listen to some of our earlier Zoom, like I would say 70 and up, because we have
Yeah.
talked a lot about things that you might want to get ready for. You don't have to like watch it. You can like while you were doing something at home, you can just put it as a
Listening.
background, you can listen to it, because there's some things there that people were asking me and answer that would help you get ready. So you just go
Yes.
to my
Good.
playlist, go to a YouTube channel, find me. You can go ITSA and then put my name, and you can find my YouTube. And then just go, I say 70 and up, have a lot of things there that people were asking me what to do when they get here. And so you may gain something, and you go to your playlist, might go under my name and playlist, and then it will just that way you wouldn't have to change it every time. It will just go to the next video, the next video, the next video. And then that way it saves you. So, while I'm doing something, I do that all the time. When I'm doing something, I'm listening to some video and I just let it run, and I'm learning something while I'm doing something else.
Doing something else. Yeah.
Yeah, that way you're not
That's
wasting your
nice.
time. But yeah, so you're multitasking.
Multitasking.
Yeah. So especially you, because there are gonna be things there that you will gain, because a lot of my videos I have Filipino teachers that are already here, and they're giving you tips on what to do,
Yeah.
what to get ready. So
I
driving is
will.
one, yeah, driving is one of them. Preparing the standards and getting to know the standards is another. Okay. So those are some
I
things
agree
that
with
you need
that.
to know. Yeah. And other things are that are helpful are like if you go and get your certification of some kind for, like, if you want to do a side hustle, like a sideline, in the weekends, like my friend, one of the teachers here, Leslie, Leslie with an IE. We have two Leslies here, with an EY and with an IE. Leslie Caboynes is one of my favorites here, and Maria. And so Leslie's husband, Junar, is here, and he works. Most of the spouses are actually hired by the school too. Do you have a
Mhm.
wife?
Yes,
Okay.
I have no
What
Merlina.
does your wife
A
do? She's a teacher
teacher
too.
also,
Okay.
public
So
school.
what happened is your H1B. Your wife
Yes,
cannot work, cannot get
yes,
her
that's why.
EAD, her employment authorization document, until you get your
Mhm.
green card. So the
Oh,
sooner you get your green card, that's when you could get her legally work. And
work.
that's the
Oh,
advantage of the J1 over the H1B. J1,
H1B.
once the moment they get there, within 2 months, they can get their
Yes.
EAD, their employment documentation, and they can work. But H4,
Work.
which is your wife with
Yeah,
H4, she cannot work until you have your green card.
green card. Oh,
Yeah.
that's the
Once your green card
advantage.
is
That's nice.
approved, then yeah. So the soonest you can get approved with your green card, the soonest she could actually get work. Okay. So
Yes.
unless your school will also give her an H1B, a
Oh,
separate one. So it has to be a
it
separate one,
can.
because if she is a dependent, she's coming here as a dependent, your dependent,
Dependent.
then she cannot work until you get your green card.
Mhm.
That's something
So they
Mike.
can do petition
Yeah,
for
if they
my
can do
wife
it,
as
two
well.
petitions, one for you and one
Wow.
for her, it's a
Oh,
totally
that's
two, yeah,
nice.
petitions. Then she can work immediately, like you. But if she is one, they might not do that though. So but if she comes as your dependent, she's H4.
Yeah,
Just remember, she cannot legally work until she gets her
agree.
paperwork, and the paperwork only happens once you get your green card. That's what happens with Mike. Mike's wife, Mike is H1B. And so Mabel was also a teacher. She
Teacher.
could not work until legally work
Mhm.
until she gets, Mike's
Green card.
approval for green card will be here. So Mabel does
Mhm.
not work as a teacher right now. So she's a home wife until housewife until
Green
she
card.
she gets the green card. Yeah, until Mike's get her green card approval, which is in the process. And then and Mike's been here. This is third year, I think Mike is.
Wow.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah. So some people would do like sideline thing, but of course that's something you should not do, because you're not supposed to really work for
Yes.
meetings. So you can just help other people, or volunteer at church, or some things that you can do to help to help others. Yeah. Some people would volunteer jobs at like Goodwill, or different places. You can do some volunteer work
Yeah.
locally. Yeah.
But Doc Marlena, if I'm H1B, can I still work another work? I mean, two work. I mean,
Two
like
jobs, as
extra
long I think
income. Two jobs. Yeah.
H1B, you're free to. I don't
Mhm.
know. I want to say that if it's school related, anything to school, like if you tutoring here, you charge people $50 an hour. So you're
An
you're
hour.
talking close to 3,000 pesos just to be a tutor for an hour. So you
Mm,
can do tutoring. A lot of times you can do tutoring. A lot of times you can do ESL, teaching ESL
oh.
online, and try to yeah. So they
What if
usually
it's not
start at
related,
$50.
Marlena? Not
For
related.
J1 it is full related, and for H1B maybe not, but I'm not sure.
Oh,
But maybe
yeah.
not, because H1B you pretty much become a green card, but I'm not sure. I do not want to give you any. I'm not an attorney. I'm not an immigration attorney. So
Yeah.
Google that. You might want to Google that.
Yes.
Okay. I know for a fact J1 you cannot work in other job other than teaching. If it's
Yes.
relating to teaching,
Cultural
you can do
exchange.
it as J1. Okay. But H1B, I do not know. I just know that school related, you're fine. Okay.
Okay.
So I want you to Google that, because I
Yes,
do not want to
definitely.
answer people, especially it's recorded and this is gonna be watched later. I'm like, oh, why is she giving wrong
YouTube.
information? And she's not even an attorney. And I'm not an attorney. I would never give advice like that. I would always
Yes,
say to
definitely.
Google it, or to go to the website for the visa, or for immigration. Go to those. Those are the official places. Okay. So that's
Yeah.
what I would do. That's what I would do. But know as much skills as you want, because they get paid a lot here. Our carpenters here, if you are a good carpenter, they charge $25 an hour.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah. And for electrical, Electrical,
Electrical.
if you know electric, if you're an electrician, they charge
Electrician.
maybe $50 an hour. That's a
An hour?
stipend. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And then plumber, plumbing,
Plumber.
but water things, they also charge maybe $40, $50 an hour. So you can do
That's
those
nice.
things that Junar, going back to Leslie's example, the school hired Junar, and he is now more of the head person or, um, of the whole maintenance department. And they save money because he's also a plumber and an electrician.
Plumber.
So he's
Wow.
very valuable to
That's
the
an extra
school.
income.
Because anytime the school needed that, instead of calling a plumber and they get charged, or an electrician, Jonar can do it because he's got a license
Wow.
for it. Yeah. So that's what I would say for men or women. They can do that too. You get license for those, and then that way, when you legally can do something here, then you
Yes.
can do those jobs. But they always need a paperwork to show that you're actually certified.
Yeah.
You're qualified to that. You can't just do it, because they're not going to trust you with their system if you're not licensed, you didn't go to school.
License.
But do not wait till you come here, because you need to be licensed there because it's cheaper. Here's thousands of dollars to get the license. Yeah. So
Yes.
you need to be having the practice there. You already have experience there. That way, when you come here, you know what you're doing. Okay. Yeah. Some people, yeah, being a chef, but that's usually for a big city, So, but I think the electrical and the plumbing, those are really big, big skills. And of course, you're a driver. If you live in a big city, you can be an Uber driver, on
Uber, yeah.
weekends. Yeah, but you
Yeah,
have
you
to have your
can.
own vehicle, and then you can be an Uber or, yeah, Lyft driver. They have it. The other one is LYFT here, Lyft. So
Wow.
yeah, so they can do, like, in big city, they can do, like, if you have an Uber Eats driver, that means you deliver food. You can do that,
Mm,
but they go, they get tips and all that. But you remember that the minimum here in Arkansas is more than $10 an hour.
an
So
hour.
500 an hour. Yeah. But for teachers, if you do any extra money, it should be $50 an hour. So close
Wow.
to 3,000 pesos an hour. That's what you should
Yeah.
charge. Okay. See, I charge, when I go as a consultant, I charge $150 an hour. So
That's big.
yeah,
150.
7,500 pesos an
Wow.
hour. Yeah. So yeah, I get paid $1,000 a day. So 50,000 pesos, 55,000 pesos a day. So that's what I charge schools. Yeah. It's not cheap in the US. But usually I have to drive far away. I have to drive 4 hours or whatever to get there, and I have to pay for my hotel and all that. So yeah, it's very comparative anyway. So because the US is very high standards of living here. Everything is expensive. You pay for your food, you pay
Yes.
for your gas, you pay, everything. But yeah, consultant though, since I have my doctorate degree, that's when I guess they think that you know something when I really don't. But
Yes.
but anyhow, yeah, you just have to establish your reputation, because nobody's going to hire you if they didn't think that you know something. So yeah, so establish
I
a good
agree.
reputation. They think that you're a person that they can trust, a person that could help them. Yeah.
I
But
agree.
anyway, so those are some things that you can think about before getting ready to come here. So this is a good topic for us. Any question from
Thank you so
everybody,
much.
Paulina or Myrna or Maria? Hi, Myrna. Thank you for coming on. Myrna, what do you think? Can you add something to what I said to Marco? Marco's about to come here. They're already processing his H1B, Myrna.
Hi, hi.
Yeah.
Hi, good morning, Doc Merlina.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Sir Marco. So,
Yeah.
good to
Thank
see
you.
you here. By the way, Sir Marco, I am Myrna. I'm one of the lucky products of Doc Merlina, if I should say. this, will- this,
Wow.
oh, by the way, Doc Merlina, on the 26th would be our first official landing here in the USA.
Oh, yeah. You can have a party.
Yeah, yeah. I would have to tell you two good news.
Uh-huh.
Jay got his license for driving,
Mm.
and Joel got his standard license already. He passed the
Oh, wow.
praxis exam.
Wow, you're doing
Yes,
a
just
lot. That's cool. Yeah. And what Myrna is talking about is when you first get here, you get a provisional license until you don't get your standard license until you pass the praxis test. And Marco, you can take that praxis test while you're there.
Oh,
Praxis.
yeah.
You go to ets.org, okay, ets.org, and then you find out locations. Where are the testing locations near you? And then you study, of course. You find their review material, study it. Myrna will be a good source for you. She's got her doctorate degree, and she also is a science teacher here in America now.
Wow, nice.
Yeah, you can ask
yeah.
Myrna
Welcome,
some questions.
Ma'am Myrna. Can I have some reviewers?
I have some points because Doc Merlina mentioned about the credit score. One thing to get a good credit score also is do not maximize your credit limit.
Yep, credit usage is only 30% or less.
Do not maximize that. Again, planning financial, really have a financial plan. A good financial plan will help you survive in the USA and earn at the same time, because that's one of the reasons why we are here. And as a science teacher, one thing I realized is that you really have to prepare that. Doc Marlena was saying that we need to have at least one experiment in a week for the
Yes.
that yeah. And sir, lecture method will not work here. It's really so we have a bell ringer activity for 5 to 10 minutes. Then after that, we do direct instruction for 10 minutes, just 10 minutes. And then after that, students would have to do their group activity, and there should be, we move around the classroom. We move around the classroom. We
Nice.
Yes, we have usually, sir, in our school, we are required to have this. We have our rooster, and then we note as to how do we help the students, what is the weakness of the student, what is their strength, and how do we help them.
Yeah. So you pretty much have a folder of each of your
Yeah.
students. That's your knowledge of students. And I call them assessment folder,
Mhm.
but it's really the folder all about their records, about their test scores and stuff. And then I always make notes for myself, like when you go to their CUME in the office. CUME is a cumulative record. These are the records from like since kindergarten. And you can look at it and see what kinds of notes the teachers made, all the stuff that you will need to know about each kid. That's what I did every beginning before the school started. That's my homework for myself, is have a note that I have a note for every student, and I put in a binder. And that way I can look back and say, okay, so the student failed the second year, got retained the second year.
Yeah.
I would look for those things, or single mom and dad, living with grandma,
Yeah.
and then information
The
about the
background of
contact
the
info. Yeah,
student.
those things like that. I have those, and you can prepare a little now with
Nice.
technology. You can, before I had to do it notes. Now you can do a little database for you. But actually you have access to those now under what do you call that, Myrna, when you have access to all the students' records and data? What do you call that?
We have our in our school we have the school system. I forgot the name.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
school. We have the e-school, sir. Ma'am. And then we have the hello.
Yeah. In Arkansas, we have that, but I bet in Illinois you also
Yes.
have that. Yeah.
Yes.
You
Yes.
will have a
The
system.
principal actually gave me an account
Yeah.
so
Okay.
that I can browse.
Yeah. Yeah, you're official. If you got that account, you're official for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Be more
Can I give you that without being official? Yeah.
be more than willing to help you, sir. So once you're here, just let me know, and I will help you. But ma'am, I'm sure
Thank
you
you
know,
so much, Ma'am Myrna.
Yeah.
sir, with you
Myrna,
being hired.
Marco is one of my subscribers, like official subscribers in Facebook. And
Wow.
so I'm actually giving them like exclusive things, access to things that the others won't. So I'm going to ask some resources from you that we can post there. So he will have access
Yes.
to it. Okay.
Yeah.
Some
Also for
things that would help
practice.
him. Yeah.
Praxis reviewer.
Praxis. Yeah. If you have any praxis tips for them, Myrna, what can he
Also,
do?
Doc, as of now, I'm also reviewing for my praxis. Because I'm thinking of if it is physics, thinking physics, which I thought for 30 years, or
wow.
taking praxis for the middle school. I'm still deciding on that. But in my probationary license, I have 2 physics and then middle science.
Mm-hmm.
So,
It's going to be based on your FCE, Marco. Okay. So
Yes.
what your FCE says is what you're going to have to be put in by the school.
Oh.
Yeah. So you need to go back to your FCE and see what you're going to be qualified for, because they have to go with that. And because then that with your license will be put together, and that's what they will use as a reference of where they should officially put you. Okay.
Yes,
So
my
those
dear.
are the things that you need to be certified in through Praxis.
Yes.
But I'm telling you, ets.org is where the Praxis would be. And
Yes.
take it
Yes.
before you get here, because if you have time, that your life will be much easier. Don't you think, Myrna?
Yeah.
Yeah.
During our time, Doc, you advise us to take TOEFL ahead of time and have
Well, yeah.
actually, I have license from Illinois. I have the teaching license from Illinois, which I was able to use
Mm.
here also in Arkansas in my probationary
Oh.
license.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he
But
already
we
has it. He already has it, Myrna. He got his
Yes.
Yeah, for
too. Yeah.
Illinois only.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but then that's probationary until you pass a Praxis.
Yes.
So
Yes.
you need to get
Oh.
your Praxis passed.
Like for my Praxis, I actually asked help from Great Rivers Doc. They just gave me reviewer. They just gave me a book last week.
Yeah.
So I'm starting to browse for it and prepare myself
Okay.
emotionally
Ha!
for I would have to prepare myself emotionally for the
Yeah.
Praxis.
Well, if you have any
You
websites
can
or
pass
any
that one on.
links that you can share with me, I will put it to for
Yes,
Marco
Doc.
too.
Yes, Doc.
Yes.
I will share it to you. There is an online
Thank you
access
so
for
much, ma'am.
Yeah. That would be cool for Marco to get ready, because I'm telling you, that's one big thing that people are having problems with here. Myrna, I would not be concerned about. She's very smart, but
Wow.
and have a lot of experience. That helps a lot. And so
Nice
for
one,
those
ma'am.
though that do not, and they struggle, some of them can never pass it. They keep trying, and it's expensive to keep trying. But the TOEFL, we have people here, and I don't think Chicago needs it, but I'm not sure. Do you know if TOEFL is one of your requirements or no? You don't have
Not,
to take TOEFL.
not,
Okay.
so
Well,
far not.
Arkansas needs TOEFL. That's teaching of English as a
Oh.
foreign language. And then we have people taking it 6, 7, 8 times, and that's $200 every time. And they could not pass it. So what they do is they end up moving to Texas or somewhere that they do not need it. Because you only have, by the time you second year, they have to, the school is forced to
Take the
kick you
TOEFL.
out, that
Oh.
they will not be able to hire you anymore, because you have 2 years to pass it for provisionary. So after your second year, they can either, if they really want to keep you, they can either tag you, or your new role would be like a long-term substitute instead of like actually teacher. Some schools are very generous like that, and they do that, and they still pay you the same way, but most schools are not. They will pay you the pay of the substitute, which is not good. Okay, not very good pay. Substitutes are
Yeah.
paid like $100 a day is all. So you don't want that at all. And also for
Yes.
J1 visa, that's not going to work, because for J1, you have to have a certain amount that you said that you're going to be paid. So they can't really change that part. So very many schools would just like, okay, you need to find another job somewhere else. And so what Filipino teachers or international teachers would do, they would find a state that would not need the TOEFL, but Praxis is required at every state. So it doesn't matter
Wow.
which state you're going to go to, Praxis is required.
Need-
That is a
yeah, I need to
US
take.
job requirement. Yeah. So it's going to be all 50 states. They're going to need Praxis. But TOEFL,
Praxis.
only a few states. But Praxis is
Okay.
all state. Okay.
Oh.
So that's something that you need to be aware of. And every test that you do under ETS, there's always a reviewer. So
Yes.
when I took my test as principal, it was a 6-hour test. I actually bought the reviewer. So it's $50, but it was worth it to me, because I got to see what the format of the test would be, like the vignettes, the different situation they'll give you. And then you have to say how to solve it. If you're principal at this situation and this is what's going on, whatever, what would you do? And what's
Our
wrong with this and
situation.
all. They ask you like situational. It's all essays. And but from that examples, I kind of know that, okay, so I'll be dealing with this. I'll be dealing with this type of questions. And so I was more ready, because they actually have like sample answers, So to me, it's worth investing for the reviewer.
Worth it, yes.
If you're really serious about wanting to pass it, if there is a reviewer available, buy it,
Ma'am Myrna will help me.
Yeah.
Mr. Marco,
Thank you so much, Ma'am Myrna.
Yeah, Myrna would be, yeah.
Yeah, Doc Merlina always mentioned this to us. Spend time to know your students.
Yep.
Because when you get to know your students, everything
Yes.
fine.
Everything will,
But
yeah.
communicate with
They want
parents.
to please
But
you. Yeah.
yeah, whether positive or negative, communicate with parents. And they
Yes.
appreciate it so much.
Start with positive always.
Yeah.
I give this an example. I had 150 students when I had, that's the limit in Arkansas. You can have up to 150 students. And so I had 150 exactly from that school where I taught science.
That's one.
I called every one of them. I contacted every one of them when my first week, because I want them to know I'm the new science teacher of your
Nice.
kid. And
Perfect.
then I would just like to get to know you, because I believe that parents or guardians are my partners in education. And
Yes.
what kind of partner will I be if I don't even contact you? So I felt
Yeah.
like, I feel like I should make this connection with you, because I want to know what's the best way to contact you. Is it by
Yeah.
phone? Is it by text? Is it by email? What is it? Or are you coming to pick up your child and I get to talk to you in person? What's your best way? And then get to introduce myself. I tell them, well, I was a literacy teacher, but but I'm teaching science now, and I'm looking forward to having your child as my student. And that's why I'm calling, or that's why I'm contacting you, is that just to get to know you, my partner, my education partner, something like that. So I did that with every one of them. Of course, that
That's
was a challenge
150.
because it was in Little Rock, which is a big city. And I got to finding out that a bunch of my kids were living with grandparents, with
Oh, so
aunts and
sweet.
all that. And they have single mom, and all that, lots of them. And so it's so neat though, because of me contacting them, these kids cannot pull anything on you, because they're gonna, oh my gosh, my mom got to talk to you. My mom said that she talked to you, or my grandma said, or my aunt said. And so all I have to do was like, you want me to text your mom? You want me to text your grandma, your aunt,
Yeah.
all this. So that's all I have to do, because if they say yes, okay, I'll text them, and all this. Yeah. So, but also some people are not, well, they're not comfortable but using their own phone. And some systems now are like having these apps where even if teachers would use, their phone, what will show up is not their phone number, but it's something else. They have apps like that. But I never was afraid to use my phone. I always gave my phone number out because I don't want to deal with two phones. When I was administrator, we were given phones by the administration. I hated it because I don't know how to deal with two phones in my purse. So
Stick
I
to
said,
one
I don't.
only.
Yeah, so I said, I have unlimited plan. People can call me
Yes.
anytime, whatever. I have unlimited. So I do not care, but most teachers in America would not want to, because you're going to get annoying parents that would call you every night. Some of them might have the stalking tendencies that would just call you and text you. Of course, you can block
Annoying.
them. You can block them. You have that option. So anyway, but it's always a choice for you as a teacher to either give it, or just some of them would just say, I'm just going to contact them through email. And
Yeah.
everybody will have an email now, at this age. So you can email them. But to me, texting them was so powerful, because I can just do it right there. Maria is so good at this. She has, in her school, they have a phone in every classroom. She'll just call them right there. So, okay, let me just make this phone call. And I'm
All the
like, wow.
parents.
Yeah, and she would do it. But don't ever
Oh,
threat. Don't
Yeah,
threaten
yeah.
a student and not do it. If you
yeah.
really gonna say that, you better do it, because
Yeah.
your words are no good after you say it and you don't do it. Okay, so I would
Yeah.
never say things that I know I do not mean and I do not do, because even if it kills me,
I
if I
agree.
said it, I'm gonna do it. Okay,
Correct.
I'm gonna do it. So just remember that. Don't threaten students. If
Yes.
yeah, don't threaten students. Do what you really meant to do. But a lot of times though, it's better to do it privately. Like I would talk to the student. I would say, hey, a lot of the doors would have a little window on the side where you can actually still peek on your students, where you can pull somebody out. And I pull somebody out and I would talk to them privately. So the others would, because you don't want to embarrass them when, I would just say, okay, sweetheart, what's your plan? That's my favorite thing to say. What's your plan? This is what's going on. You're failing. You're not giving me your homework and all that. So what is your plan? Tell me your plan, and all this. So, well, they would just tell you whatever. And I'm like, well, this is back on you. Okay, this is on you. How do we solve this problem? I cannot solve the problem for you, especially high school. This is how you talk to them. I cannot solve this problem for you. I want you to come up with a solution, and then I'll be here to help guide you. But it has to come from you. Okay, what's your plan? A lot of time I go with, what do you want to do again when you grow up? When you are out of here, high school, what do
Yeah.
you want to be? Well, I want to be a doctor. And I said, okay, so you want to be a doctor. So what you're doing
What
now, does it
happened?
align to your goal? Are you going to meet
Yes.
your goal of being a doctor if you don't bring me homework, you don't do any work and all that, your patient's going to die. So so I would kind of connect it to the goal like that because then you're serious. I really do care. I really want you to succeed. I want you to get out of here meeting the goals in your life because this is not about just schooling. This is about your life we're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, so I would do that in person and I really want them to know I care about you. You're not just like my student for an hour. You really are my student for life. I want to
Yeah.
help you in your
I
life.
agree.
Yeah. And that's kind of how I always treated my students because I always told them I will treat you like how I would my kids, Stephanie and Jet. That's how I would treat you. And this is how I talk to my kids. I would always want them to know, sweetheart, you have a plan. This is what your plan is. So what do we do from here? How do you get to that path? What's the path? And all that. So, so things like that. You just have to really talk to them and not in a mean way, but it's more of a caring way. You're failing, you're doing all this. Let me help you. What can I do to help you? We have options of tutoring. We have option of after school tutoring, during school tutoring. You have in-school suspension. You have all kinds of options for school. You give them this option. What would work for you? Because the complicated things about high school, especially with kids in poverty, they also work. So they said, well, I cannot do it because I have to work. And if I don't work, I cannot eat in all this because my mom is sick, my they'll tell you their situation. And you get more understanding once you know. That's why it's important, back to what Myrna said, it's so important to get to know your students because you know their situation and you know how to help them. Sometimes I may have to lower or to cut their assignments. All I'm doing is I want to know if they got the skill. It doesn't take 10 things or 5 things for me to know. If I lower it to 2 and I know that this kid got it, that's good enough for me to help this kid out, and all this. But anyhow, so you just have to kind of more of pretty much customize, really, right? And
Yeah.
so it's actually about 5 core propositions of National Board. Myrna's so good at this. What was it, Myrna? You said the first one, knowledge of students. What's the other 4?
Knowledge of the content, knowledge of the student, knowledge of the content.
And then assessment, right?
Yes, yes,
Yes.
yes.
And then reflection and collaboration.
Reflection.
Yeah.
Collaboration.
Yeah, those
One
5
last
things.
Let's forget.
because we are almost there in the grocery area. This is what I'm doing now in my class. Every time the students recite, I would give them a ticket. It says admit 1. So that
Wow.
ticket at the end of the day, at the end of the meeting, they will write their name and I'll have it in a jar. And at the end of the week, I will pick 2 winners of just a small prize for them.
Uh-huh.
And every Friday they would say, "Oh, Miss Myrna, it's a raffle day today."
That's awesome.
Every week,
I love
every
it.
week,
And those who
Myrna.
don't get
Yeah, every week.
those who don't
Wow.
get the chance to get the prize, they are earning points also.
Nice.
No, they
Yeah.
are excited.
I put the scores in their score bank, Doc Merlina.
Yeah.
So they use, yes, if say for example there is a classwork they did not do well, so I will give them up points from their score bank.
Yeah, very good. I love she's doing some great things. I love the idea, in Walmart here in Gaisano here, there's a big roll of tickets. These are the same tickets that they would buy. Yeah, they would have for games and when you go to sports events, you buy that. I don't know how much is it, about $10 or less?
$7, Doc Merlina.
Okay.
But it has 2,000 tickets.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Wow.
So Joel and I bought this roll of tickets for this. So they know that. They already know that. Oh, Miss Myrna, this is my ticket. So more chances of more entries.
It's more
More frequent to recite, then you will be given more tickets and more chances.
Yeah, and you can build those things like a little drum, thing, and then with a little you can shake it.
Yes.
You can build those, yeah.
Yes.
And then or you can just make a big jar. That way you can mix it up. Yeah.
Then every month, this would be my first month. We have students of the science students of the month.
Yeah, very good. What I did with mine is with the tickets is I made it sure that I have a stamp that's unique to me, because they could just buy those in Walmart, those tickets, if you don't mark it somewhere. So I would mark it. I would have my students that are finished early to start stamping those with my official stamp, with my name and all that. So I stamp those. So those are official tickets. And then they earn those. They have envelopes, okay? And then at the end of the month, we have an auction. So those are like money, you see? And so in auction, I have this big old parang kabanba, that big chest, and then it has a lot of goodies in it. And then at the end of the month, I would auction some things there. It could be notebooks, it could be pencils, it could be anything that I get from yard sales and toys, things that they like, and all that. And some of them would be coupons to say free homework for a week or free homework for 2 nights, whatever. And then so lunch with a teacher, with a friend, things like that. I would auction those things off. And so every month we have a monthly auction. So those are similar to what Myrna is doing, except mine, they have to keep up with their tickets because they're on their own on it. They put their names on it, so somebody could not steal it. Even if they drop it, it's not theirs. So the moment they receive it, they earn it. They put their names on it, and they put it in their little folder, in their envelope, and they put that in their backpack to be safe. They cannot leave it in the room, put it in the backpack, and it's like money. Because I lost it, too bad. You're supposed to keep up with it. And so every month we would have that auction. So anything that you get to know your students and you get to know what they like some people like jobs like, oh, I want to be the leader for the week, whatever. I would auction those.
I have my assistant scientist of the week, though.
You can do that. And then any auction, it doesn't have to cost you money. It's just things that you like to do.
They are proud, they're proud. Miss Myrna, can I do? They will distribute the materials. They already know. Okay, we will have our activity. So my assistant scientist will stand, Miss Myrna, I go to this area and I go to this area.
Yeah.
So that's it. Doc, as much as I want to say, we are now in the grocery.
Okay. Right. Thanks again. Myrna is awesome to always kind of show up and give us some really great hints. Yeah.
Yes.
So thank you, Myrna. You're doing an awesome
thank
job.
you, Myrna.
Okay, Doc.
When I'm around there. Yeah.
Also, Doc, Joel and MJ.
Hello, Doc.
Oh, hi, Joel and MJ. Joel is also a teacher, guys. Hi, MJ. MJ, are you hiding from me? Bye, MJ. MJ,
the next visit, Doc. The next time we visit your place, MJ will be the one to drive.
MJ, I'm so proud of you. Are you buying him a car? MJ, are you getting a car?
No.
Hi, in America, that's a very common 16-year-old present.
Mm-hmm.
To be brand new.
A toy car, Doc. We will buy him toy car.
No, there's some used ones, Myrna. You can buy $1,000, $2,000.
Oh, okay.
My first car was $1,000, you guys.
Okay, I'll tell. Look at
you know what happened? I had drove that car because Dwayne, my husband, did not think I would need a better car because I was a brand new driver. After a year, I drove that $1,000 Volkswagen Rabbit, a small car, and after a year I drove it, I sold it for $1,000, so I drove it for free. Yeah. And see, that's what some parents would do. They would buy a used one, a good used one, and then they would eventually, when the kid got a job, they could actually pay for their own car. If the parents would help them, co-sign, but then they are responsible for the payment. That's one way that you get your kids be responsible, because they can work in America at 16 years old. They can start working.
What a big smile on MJ's face, Doc.
Hi, MJ. But Myrna, if you have them, hey, MJ, if you start getting work at 16 years old and paying for your own, you will become much better person than being spoiled by your parents and them buying it for you. Okay, you are much gonna build character for you if you buy it yourself. My husband said he bought his first car at $50 way back.
Nothing comes easy.
Yeah, if you make the kid spoiled by having them just give you to them, they're gonna become worthless adults. That they're gonna think people are just gonna give it to them. My kids, we could afford things, but we never spoil them. They had to earn it. Like Jet, we had a car wash, at one time, and so he had to work in the bay and cleaning and hosting everything, all the bays there. We had 5 bays. He had to clean all that all the way around and getting all those nasty stuff, getting all those cleaned up every afternoon for him to earn money, and that's what he earned that. And so that Jet is a very hardworking kid as a result, because he knew that things are not just given to you. You have to earn things in life. And that's what you should always do with your students. Do not spoil them. Just because you can afford it and you're here in America, do not spoil them. They're going to become really bad, lazy adults. And when they go to college on their own, they're not going to go to school. They're just, oh, I'm free now. I can just lay around in my dorm or my apartment. I don't have to work because they're lazy. They're not used to working. Okay. So make them become hard workers.
Yes, yes. Actually, people were thinking that MJ is a spoiled son because he's the only child that we have, but no, he doesn't get.
You're good parents. Yeah, you're good parents. And I think, that's being good parent, good parenting if you don't spoil them. Make them earn it. Both of our kids are not spoiled at all. Stephanie's a doctor now, and Jet is a computer person. Network specialist, this was his title, and not a spoiled kid at all. It was always like, how about this Filipino attitude, like, like mom, like ask permission or would not be permissive. Like he did not just think that I can just do this. He always asked permission. Is that okay if I do this or whatever? As a child, that's kind of how we'd raise them, like a Filipino child would be. But he's American. He was born here. But yeah, you have to, and I think MJ, how old was MJ when you brought him here?
14.
14, and now he's 16. So you did, yeah.
No, he'll be
15.
Turning 15. Yeah, he'll be turning 16 though.
Oh yeah, when he turns 16, Dada, you need to have him see if he could work at the grocery store, at the Sonic or that Dairy Queen.
Actually, he was aiming for that.
Yeah,
in Giant store, just near our area.
And and then aim him to have a checking account or something. So, and then we always had Jet like 80-20 or 90-10. I don't remember what Dwayne said. Save 80 and spend 20%.
Okay.
Something like that. Get him used to something like that savings thing. And these kids, when they grow up, they will do exactly that. Okay. But if you have a teenager that would work and then they would blow all their money every time, they're going to have problems when they're adults. So I know you would do something like that with Joel.
Yeah.
Or MJ. Yeah. So anyway, now look at this store. This is a good one. Hey, show them the stores in America. Are you in Walmart?
Yeah.
Wait for a while. Show them that this is like Gaisano, you guys. So this is where Myrna is. What is that department you are in? With the vegetables?
I am in Walmart. I'm in the vegetable area.
Yeah.
Here.
It's big. It's huge.
This is a complete store where you got the gadgets, the school supplies, the RTWs, and everything.
Yeah, it's everything. Yeah, it's a store with everything in it.
It has the wet and the dry market area.
Yeah. So all those would be in the background, in the freezers. What are those in the freezers, Myrna?
Papaya.
There's the papaya. Yeah, they have papaya there. That's awesome.
Yeah, there is also piña.
Yeah, you have pineapples there. Yeah, you have mango there? Do they have mangoes?
Mangoes are on the other side, I think so. Yes. Then we have lots of banana from the Philippines, the Dole banana.
Dole, yeah. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, and do they have a place too where they cook for you and they have food ready to go?
Yes, the deli.
So are you at the Helena market? Are you at the Helena?
At the Helena, Doc. At the
Helena. Okay. This is how many miles from you? How many minutes?
This is 25 minutes from our place.
25 minutes. Okay. So similar as me. The Walmart is about 25 minutes from me too. No, maybe 20 for me. Yeah. There's a Walmart everywhere here. If you don't see a Walmart, there's a dollar store. And some dollar stores now have groceries as well, but not very many. Usually you go to a grocery store.
I miss your section. Doc, I miss the garden because I would have to buy
I have a big upo right now, Myrna. I have 2 big upo. Have you seen my post?
Yes, yeah. I saw it. I told Joel, if Doc Martina's place is just closed, my God, I would be.
You should come. I'm 4 hours from them. So yeah.
See you. I hope to see you again soon we'll see when the Filipino teachers arrive here.
Yeah, the only time that is not a good time is Labor Day weekend. Jet will be here. My sister from Dallas will be here. So that means that the guest house will not be open.
It's full, yes.
Yeah. So, but if you stay at, like in the, hotel here, they're about $60-$70 a night. Yeah. You can do two families in one room. So if you want to do something like that, you're welcome.
My family, yes.
Yeah. See, that's the time to like do picnics, during Labor Day weekend, they do picnic in the park and they would do like boating and things like that. Some outdoor events. So my sister, in the past, we've done like, we would rent a boat, that boat that would fit like 14, 15 people, like a party boat. And then my sisters and I, there's three of us. So it would cost like $200 for the day to rent the boat and another 100 for the gas. So each sister would only have to put in $100, but that's like an all day thing. One of the husbands would drive the boat. So we just get the boat by ourselves. But it's been fun. My sister would do like prepare some food in 2 coolers. She would have 2 coolers.
Yeah.
One cooler for the food and one cooler for the drinks. And then we would be floating all day long and just like swimming and skiing and water skiing and just visiting with each other. And that's the 3 sisters and our kids. So it's very nice. Whoever's home that time. This time only Jet will be home. But I don't know about the older kids in Nashville, if they're coming or not, or grandkids. But anyway, so yeah, those are things that Labor Day weekend, that's usually the first weekend of September. So everybody's off. So yeah, and a bunch of places in America, a bunch of schools in America, they actually do not open school until after Labor Day weekend. So they open in September. But in our part in the South, we always open early. So we get off early. How I knew that was I was vacationing in Florida, and I was in the swimming pool in the hotel, and I was talking with a bunch of teachers, the different places, different states, and that's what I noticed. Like, oh my gosh, I didn't know that you don't start till after Labor Day weekend. And so they also do not end until June something, because they wait another 2 weeks more than us. In Myrna school, they have a more of a year-round school. You started in July, right? Oh, we don't have any sound from you now, Myrna. Anyway, so yeah, so they start in July, and then they would have like a winter break. They would have any extra break like that in order for them to like still have the 180-day teacher-student interaction. Emilia, welcome. You're okay anytime. I told you guys that you can just pop in anytime while we're here. I am about to end but I want to talk to Emilia before I end. We were talking and you can watch this on the video, Emilia, later. Marco
Yeah.
here is somebody that's already processing his H1B visa. A school here in Illinois, close to Chicago, has hired him, and he is just I was sharing with them about what are the things that he should do when he gets here. Getting his Social Security, getting your, state ID, and bring all your documents with you, and so on, and opening your bank account so that you can get paid, because usually most here would pay it bank to bank. The school would just, send it bank to bank. So those are some things that we had mentioned. And of course, Myrna was showing us about the grocery store here in America, because she is there now. Okay, so Emilia, what's up with you? What's new with you? Emilia is from Africa. Now tell me, Ghana, right? Ghana?
Yes,
Yes, she's from Ghana. And she always has some beautiful things she shares with us every time. So I look forward to talking to you. What's new with you? What's new at school? Is there something you want to share? Did I lose you? I think sometimes Emilia's internet is not as strong like the Philippines. Sometimes we have those issues too. Emilia, are you back? Okay. So Emilia, what's new with you? I love your outfit, girl. What is that? Is that purple? And love that one.
yes.
It's very royal. It's very regal.
Thank you. Thank you.
Regal collar. Love that. I think I like the details on the collar for sure.
Thank you.
When I buy outfits, I would always look for like blingy stuff or some details like that. It's cool. I love that it's solid color, but then you have this little different colors on it. Yeah, perfect. Yeah. So did you go and attend something or whatever? Did you go somewhere? Or
yes,
you were at
we are
home?
we are launching our 70th anniversary today.
Oh, whose 70th anniversary? Yours?
The school.
The school. Okay. So you have a big party?
Yes, yes.
You have a big program?
Yes, it's a big program. That's why I could not join early.
Oh, that's okay. No problem. You're always active in Facebook and everything. So I'm really rooting for you to come here. Okay. I want you to come meet me in person.
Yes. How I wish I would get the opportunity this year, or maybe by the grace of God next year.
That would be awesome. Have you been applying a lot under www.schoolspring.com? Have you been applying? Okay.
Yes, please. And I think the search, sometimes they'll tell you no school matches your search for the moment, but I'm still on it.
Yeah, go on it, and then I would recommend that you go to the different capitals of the different states, because they're gonna have they have the best, they have a lot of job opportunities usually, for other
Okay.
countries, and they can afford to hire folks because they're bigger, and they want the diversity for sure in every capital. Like Little Rock is in Arkansas is Little Rock, okay? And like Texas would be Austin, Texas, and Nashville would be Tennessee would be Nashville. So things like just Google capital of whatever state you want. So you go get a map of the US and go closer to Arkansas, so it'll be easier for you to come see us. Yeah,
You soon.
Louisiana is below me, is south of us, and of course Texas is close by. We share a border, and so yeah, Texas is a really nice state. You can go Houston there or Dallas. Always looking for diverse teachers in those places. Okay, Dallas and Houston especially. I think in Houston the whites are a minority. They're colored. Yeah, they're people from different colors. They're different languages. Pretty neat to hear these different languages as you go around Houston. You hear all kinds of languages. Yeah, I love that. Yeah, so Houston would be a good one for you, and Nashville would be good. Okay, if you can get in Little Rock, that's only 3 hours from me. That's only 1 hour from the other folks. So you're close to the others. Yeah. So anyway, yeah. So just do that. Capital of whatever state. If you are a big city person, that's what I would say. If you really like to live in the city, go to the capital. And if you look at the map of that state, you can just do map of, for example, Arkansas, and you can just see what the places closest to the capital. Would be easy for you to, like, on the weekends, you can just go 20 minutes away and you're already in the capital. Those are some also bigger places usually. Okay. And of course, you can see how big the towns are. The bigger the town, the bigger the school, and the more diverse students population would that be. And so there will be a need of people that look like them. So for your case, African American, for our case, some we go with, like, the Latino kids would look like Filipinos, we're brown like the Filipinos and all that. So they want a representation of their of their student population. So they don't want like a school full of African American children all taught by white folks. They're not going to want to do that. They want to make it diverse. And I think that's smart to do that, right? Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
So, yeah. So I would recommend that for you and anybody else. That have you told others, like your friends or whatever? It's much better, Emilia, if you find a friend that you trust that would also be interested. So that way, when you get hired, then you can room together, and that way your expenses can be cut in half, because you'll split it. It's much more expensive for a person by yourself. Okay, unless you have your whole family with you, which you're not going to want anybody there. But to start, like, some people cannot afford to bring their whole family at first. They might want to wait 2 or 3 months when they could already be paid and be able to pay for their family. And then that way, having a roommate for those many months would help you raise your money, to save your money in order to bring your family. How many kids are you bringing, and husband? How many in your family together?
We are 5.
5.
Myself,
yeah.
my husband, and the 3 kids. Yes.
Some people would do like 1 kid at a time. They might just say, okay, 1 kid that do not need a babysitter. Like if you're gonna go in a school with J1, within 2 months your husband can work. So is your husband also a teacher?
Yes.
Okay, then a lot of times when you go and interview, make sure you mention that my husband is also a teacher. So if you need another teacher on whatever area, my husband may be able to do that. And so some places you can be hired both as J1, two different J1, instead of him being a J2, a dependent of you. Because as a 2 J1s, then you can immediately work. Well, as a J2, he has to wait 2 months or something before you can actually have him work. So you'll have those 2 months that you do not double income. So if you do that and you start bringing kids, you need to think about, okay, if this kid need a babysitter, like kids that are before kindergarten, they have to have a babysitter. It's very expensive in America. And the big city, very expensive. It's maybe, I don't know, maybe more than $100 a week just for a babysitter. Yeah, you don't want to pay that. So you need to be thinking, and the bigger the city, the more expensive. Okay, so be thinking about that. A lot of times people would actually bring their older kids first, and then they would bring their youngest kids later when they feel like they have already known some people, maybe some people from church that would babysit for them, that they trust, that they know would be okay with their children. Because there are some people that are not nice people. You don't want them babysitting your kids, right? So that's what people have done, is they would wait a little bit, they would bring their husband first, or maybe their husband and the kids later. Okay, so they have different, like Abby has 4 kids, and she has the baby still in the Philippines with their grandma, and then she brought the 3 girls here already. Yeah, and so the little boy is still left in the Philippines. I think it's a boy. Anyway, so but they have 4, and they both husband and wife work at the same school, and then the 3 kids, they're going to the same school, which is really pretty neat. So anyway, yeah, but like Leslie, she's got 1 kid, so she just brought the 1 kid with them, already. And then the husband also got hired at the same school. So yeah, and they don't have to be a teacher, even if they are like working on other jobs at the school, can use them as a janitor. Janitors here are paid a lot. They get paid a lot at school. Yeah, they get paid a lot. The maintenance people, yeah, they get paid a lot. So, and a very good job, because they'll have benefits. They would have health insurance, they would have, retirement and all that. So it's really good thing, especially if you're H1B. You have the retirement and all that for H1B. So yeah, so any jobs that your husband, any skills that your husband can have that they could use here in America, they get paid 25 or above an hour. Okay, an hour. So it's pretty expensive. Teachers will be $50 an hour or more to do your tutoring, if you tutor kids. Yeah. So anyway, okay. So that's what, I'm so glad you popped in before we stop. I have a birthday party that I promised someone I was going to help prepare food, Filipino foods. And so I have Zenaida here, a friend of ours. She's actually a mother of one of the Filipino teachers. And she's teaching in a big city, and she likes the country, and I live in the country 2 hours away. So she's vacationing with me. So she's next door in my guest house. And so she and I have been having a good time. I've been posting some things there with Zenaida. And so she had actually promised that I will come and help. And of course she doesn't drive, so I have to drive her. So if I'm gonna go help too. So I said, well, I will cut my Zoom a little early. I'm so glad you got to come in and still say hi. So congratulations on your 17th year. That is awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, long time. Yeah. Anyway, I look forward to when is this? This is the 26th, 23rd. So the 30th, so that will be the 6th. It will be September 6th when we will meet again. Okay? All right.
Okay.
So, yeah. Thank you. Any last minute thing you want to say? Good luck again, okay? Continue.
Okay. Thank you very much.
I would love to hear from you to say, I got a job. That's music to my ears when Marco was telling me today, I got good news for you. I got hired as an H1B. That is that music to my ears, I tell you. It just really makes my day when I hear someone getting the job. So yeah. So that's Marco today. Paulina has not talked, but I really like your. Okay, there you go, Paulina. Have I talked to you before?
Yes.
Say hi to Emilia over here. Emilia's from Africa, from Ghana. So Paulina, tell me about you. What have you been applying everywhere?
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
I've been applying.
Have you had an interview?
Not yet. But I continuously apply.
Okay, go to schoolspring.com. Is that what you're doing? Okay.
Yes.
And so are you filtering it? Make sure you filter. When you go to www.schoolspring.com, you filter the jobs. You won't have to deal with a mess. Filter it with full-time. Make sure you hit full-time, check it off. And then teacher. That way you won't be shown the other jobs. And then you can also filter by state. If you want a certain state that you want, if you want a tropical climate like the Philippines, you will do California, Florida, or Hawaii. But those are also the places that people all want. So yeah. So if you're doing California, you need to do San Diego or LA or San Francisco. San Francisco is where a bunch of the Filipinos are. There's going to be Filipino restaurants everywhere. There are going to be Jollibees everywhere, all that stuff in San Francisco, okay? And they are going to pay you more, but they also, the rent will be ridiculous. So make sure that you have some friends or whatever that you can room with, because it's hard. It's nearly impossible to live on your own by yourself at first. So anyway, so you might want to gather some of your friends, like, hey, let's do it together. That way, if you get hired, we can be roommates. Because
Actually,
especially
that
if you're
would
going to be in a
help.
big city, that's what you need to do. Okay. So do you have
I
friends
have a
with you?
friend here. I have a friend here a while ago. She
Huh?
just lagged out. I have a friend here a while ago. She just lagged out.
Oh, okay. You have a friend. Okay. Well, the two of you, if you're gonna be, even if you're not in the same district, but maybe in same area but different school, you can still be roommates. And then if for those that are looking for room, like for example, Marco, you go to Zillow.com, Zillow.com, and then put your name of your address there, the school or nearby, and then just put the city, and the state, and then go to apartments.com is another one. I think realtor.com is another. Anyway, those would be listing. You need to check off the one that says for rent. Okay.
Yes, Doc
Not the
Marlene.
for sale. Did you do that already, Marco?
Yes, actually, I'm searching. I'm reading right now.
Yeah. Are there some places? How much are the rent?
So far, I think that's around 800, 1.5.
Oh no, 1.5 is too high. So, but there's
Yeah,
a lot of you, and they limit
I'm
those,
still
by the
searching.
way. Right. So if you have
Yeah.
a 3-bedroom, you can have up to 3 people. You want to have a
Yeah.
bedroom for each
Since
person.
we are 5 or 6 international teacher will be at that school, so I think we will be occupy. I think 5
Yeah,
or
you
maybe.
can do houses. You don't have to do apartments. You can
Yeah.
do houses. For 5 people, that would be awesome because you can even afford a $2,500 one, which is a really nice one.
Yeah,
And
I will
you can
expect
have,
that with our principal.
yeah, we can have one
That's
bedroom
the
each.
accommodation.
Yeah, just make sure that you have one bedroom each. You don't want somebody with no bedroom. Okay, they need to have
Yes.
a bedroom each. And then usually they don't match the bathroom will not be 5 either. They're gonna be 3 or whatever. So some of you may have to share a bathroom, but it's okay because how they're setting up those rooms are they usually like they call them a Jack and Jill, which means that they're gonna put the bedroom in the middle of 2 rooms. So that's why they call them Jack and Jill. So when you use it, you have to, yeah, you have to lock the other door so they
Heavy.
will come in while you're using it. And then they do the same thing. They lock your door part. That way you don't come in when they're using the bathroom. So yeah, so
Yeah.
that's called a Jack and Jill style. Okay, so
Jack
they're
and
using, yeah, sharing the bathrooms. Yeah. Anyway, Paulina, you have any question for me or for Emilia or for Marco? Since she's shared a lot of things today that really is going to be helpful to those that will watch this video about what to do when you get here. Were you here when he was sharing all that stuff, Paulina?
Yes, we're only 3 at the start of this meeting.
Okay. Yeah. Well, what did you learn? Is there something you picked up that you didn't know?
Actually, I was amazed by his story about how he's processing his visa right now. And I am hoping that one of these days I'll be able to have my principal interview and a job offer as well.
Yeah.
You're,
Yeah, they said
you're next, ma'am.
sana oy. Well, in
Thank
our
you.
culture,
Sana
we would
oy.
say sana oy.
Sana
Sana
oy.
all. I think that is
Sana
sana
all.
all. Sana all, Emilia, means that, oh, wish it was all true for all of us.
Yes.
Sana all, yeah. Do you know that I have not learned all those things until the teachers came here? They're way younger than me. They're like my kids' ages. These are just some terms that they would use, and I'm like, sana all.
In the
And I'm like,
Philippines. Sana
what is
all,
that?
yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully
Which
it's for
is
all of us, That's what it means. And I'm like, okay, I'm learning all this lingo from these younger folks. And it's Gen Z. Yeah. Well, anyway, all right. So I will just say bye and thank you so much, Paulina. You need to I want to wish you good luck, okay? And so of course Emilia too, on your job hunting. And I would love if you want a practice, like an individual practice with me. All you have to do is email me. Like, for example, somebody would say, I want an interview with you in 3 days or whatever. You need to make sure you email me and you want a one-on-one interview practice with me. We will record it in a Zoom meeting like this. And in that way, you have a copy because I will give you a correction. Like, for example, if I ask you what to do with angry parents. Okay. So, Paulina, if I ask you that question, or Emilia, what would you do with angry parents? Somebody would come to school very angry about something. How would you handle that?
Given it, I think when I experience that scene, um, for sure, I'll remain silent at first. Then I let her explain herself, and then when the tension goes down, then I probably invite her for a seat, and then we'll talk. about what she's bothering about, and then if that's something that's really uncomfortable, I'll ask her to be with me in the guidance office, and then we will talk there privately. So it's not going to be having such attention between the two of us.
Okay, so your privacy is a good thing. That's a good answer. But you also need to also yeah, let her know that you're listening. And how you know really is take a notes, took bulleted notes. Okay, and that way when she gets done or he gets done, you need to say, okay, is that okay? You need to ask too, is that okay if I take notes? I want to just make sure I don't miss anything. And they would say, okay. So you start bulleting the notes, and then when they get done, you would say, okay, this is what I heard you say. And then you start reading your notes or whatever. And then before you say anything about your piece, make sure you tell him or her that this is what you heard. Okay. And then that way they already are with you. You're already on the same page together. If they say, yeah, that you got it. I like this. And so let's just talk about this piece by piece. And then you start discussing it. That way you have that conversation thing where you're not being defensive and he's not being offensive or she's not being offensive. And then that way you're doing it. You say things like, well, I always believe that parents or grandparents or guardians are my partners in education. And as partners, I think it's important for us to have this clear communication so that, because ultimately we want what's good for John, for the child. So we both are on the same page on that. We want him or her to succeed, right? So that's why I feel that this is such an important conversation for partners to have, so something like that. So you kind of have that little, you calm them down. That's a good word to say too. So a good thing for that is when you sit down, you don't sit down like, you are here in a big chair and then he is a student chair. Don't do that. You have to do like a certain level. Like if this is a table, this is your desk, I would sit like there where the person is, more of a conversational piece instead of like you and me across the desk. I would do like a side by side type thing, that way. And you don't stand up while they sit down. That's a big power move. Don't do that. Okay. And so anyway, so those are important things to say. And then after, if they're really, really, really angry, you might need to ask the principal to step in and be with you, have some kind of witness, either counselor or principal. Is that okay if I invite somebody to, be here and help us, whatever. So if you really feel like you don't want to be in danger, because if somebody would hit you or do something to you, that's a felony. Okay. They go to jail for that. And you could, yeah. But you also do not want to put yourself in a situation, if you feel like your life is in danger or your health is in danger or whatever, you need to make sure that you set up where and maybe your next door neighbor teacher can step in and be a witness. Okay. But hopefully you won't ever have that experience. But sometimes the other teachers would say, you know what, that parent is gonna be doing that every year to every teacher. So if you know that that is a situation, you want to tell the principal about that. I have a meeting scheduled with Mrs. or Mr. So-and-so. And I've heard from my colleagues that this is what they do, this is what she does. What do you think I should do? Should I ask you to come in maybe and be a third person there? What do you think that I should do? And the principal would be able to tell you, like, oh, let me be in there. And so anyway, so it depends on the personality of the principal. The principal might just say, well, let me just take care of it. Well, you don't want that, because that person wants to talk to you. You want to talk to that person, because in a protocol, really, in a school, they need to always start with the teacher. And if they're not happy with what the teacher does, then they go to the principal. They're not happy, go to the superintendent. They're not happy, then they go to the school board, which is the very head of the school, right? And so you want to nip it right there in the teacher to parent communication, because you want to solve that problem together, and you want to be friends with them. You don't want to be like them going away mad at you. That's always my goal. And I think that's one thing that I could say is one of my strengths, is that I could actually talk to people and calm them down. I knew that when I was principal. I knew that when I was a teacher, because I would always like try to feel what they may be feeling. These are the things that they told me. So if that is the situation, that is the communication, maybe their child lied to them. And so this is what they believed, and so it's in a point where if I'm feeling comfortable with them, I would always joke like, you know what, this is what I tell some parents, that if you promise to believe 50% of what your child does, I will promise to do the same here. No kidding. But anyway, no, because sometimes they would exaggerate. They would be mad at you, for example, because they got in trouble. Or they did not get their homework and you did not, you were unhappy. So they want their parent to get you, to get you, because I'm like, oh, my parent's gonna get her. Oh, look, wait, like this. So you don't want that situation. That's why it's important to have that communication so that the kids cannot manipulate the situation. We're like, well, they don't talk anyway. So I could just lie to my parent and the parent would come and get her, and be mad at her. So you cannot be a chicken. You cannot be like, back out from that. But communication is key. Okay. But taking notes, I would really recommend. For one thing, you have to have a notebook, have a journal or something, back then. Now I do computer stuff, but back then I always have a daily notebook, so I had my own daily notebook for me that I would write everything that happened there that day. And so those
How
are,
about Doc Marlena? How
uh-huh.
about is it allowed to do recording?
It's different
Ask
states have
permission?
different rules, and they are very allergic to that. Some of them, especially if they're mad, they're not gonna agree to that. They're mad. They don't want that recording. So if you do a recording with their permission, saying that, is that okay if I take bulleted notes here so we can discuss it point by point? Is that all right? A lot of time they would say yes, because you are talking about it like you're really interested in their what they want to say, right? You're not just like brushing it off. You really are going to be talking about it, because that, then you can go, you have this little agenda you're making really off of what they said. Okay. And so anyway, so yeah, I would not say recorded, but the thing is, in most schools in America now have videos now in the classroom. So
Still recorded.
yeah, so if you work in that school that has videos in every classroom, you got it already. You got a recording already without even, saying that. It's already there. The principal could, some principals might say, okay, let me just be by my office and I can watch the video for you. That way I wouldn't have to be there physically, but I can monitor it, So some of them cases are like that. I think in Arkansas, it maybe only 10% are having their videos in the, because it's in the classroom, because some schools are doing it like only videos in the hallways and, for safety. And then they have videos like in the computer classroom because of the computer safety, things that people would do in the computers. So they would have that. But some schools like in the Delta, where most of our teachers are, because these are kids in poverty and all that, for safety, they have it in every classroom.
Every classroom.
Yeah, every classroom would have it. We have some superintendents where their best hobby is to like watch teachers. They're just like over there in their office
the
watching.
feeling of the teacher awkward.
yeah, but you get used to it. You will forget that it's there.
Yes.
You will forget it's there. But if you really are a teacher that does your job, you don't worry about that. For teachers that are lazy and they're just sitting on their desk and not really teaching, and they're over there in their desk ordering things in Amazon, then you have a problem.
Yeah.
But even if you don't have a camera, by the way, there's still a Guardian app that your technology person, every school has a technology director. They could actually monitor what everybody's watching, including the teachers and administrators. They can actually see what you're doing. So you could still, one of our teachers that we fired when I was administrator was a teacher that got addicted to games online. And he would put his kids in worksheets and he would be playing his games online. And so that he was caught by our technology person. So he got fired because we kind of told him, you can either resign or we will fire you and it'll be in your record. So he left, So anyway, but he was addicted to that. Yeah. And that's what he would do. He would just he would talk for a little bit and give the kids worksheets, let them work. And this was junior high.
Lazy.
Work. Yeah. And then he was over there playing with his games. So don't do that. Don't do any personal things while you're in the classroom, because I would never be that, because I was always monitoring my kids. I was always going around the room. I would put in, like, if back then we didn't have Fitbit. If we had Fitbit,
every minute
now
is
10,000 steps, I get my 10,000 steps all day long, because I would be all the way around the room. Yeah, remember what I said, that all the four little stinkers, the 4 people that I'm concerned about in my classroom, I put them in the 4 corners in my classroom, right? And that would make me have to go to all the 4 corners for me to
To check.
pick on them. And that's what I
Yeah.
did. I did that the whole 15 years I was,
Okay.
in this one school. Anyway, so that helps. But anyway, so Paulina, good points there made, huh? So anyway, okay. So I'm gonna say bye, and I want you all to have a good school year, and I will see you in a couple of weeks, okay? 2 weeks. So see you later. Okay, bye-bye. You're making a difference in
Bye,
life.
Doc Merlina. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye. Okay,
Thank
bye-bye.
you. Bye.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye, ma'am.
Aha. Let me end it.